Two soldiers traveling together were set upon by a robber. One of them ran away, but the other stood his ground and laid about him so lustily with his sword that the robber was fain to fly and leave him in peace. When the coast was clear, the timid one ran back and, flourishing his weapon, cried in a threatening voice, "Where is he? Let me get at him, and I'll soon let him know whom he's got to deal with." But the other replied, "You are a little late, my friend. I only wish you had backed me winds fall upon me with their gusts and gales, and lash me into a fury that is not natural to me. That's cool. I once made a home video called Shipwrecked. It's terrible. The wolf, the fox, and the ape. A wolf charged the fox with theft, which denied, and the case was brought before an ape to be tried. When he had heard the evidence on both sides, the ape gave judgment as follows. I do not think, he said, that you, O wolf, ever lost what you claim, but all the same, I believe you, fox, are guilty of the theft in spite of all your denials. The moral is, the dishonest get no credit even if they act honestly. The Kingdom of the Lion. When the lion reigned over the beasts of the earth, he was never cruel or tyrannical, but as gentle and just as a king ought to be. During his reign, he called a general assembly of the beasts and drew up a code of laws under which all were to live in perfect equality and harmony. The wolf and the lamb, the tiger and the stag, the leopard and the kid, the dog and the hare, all should dwell side by side in unbroken peace and friendship. The hare said, "Oh, how I've longed for this day when the weak take their place without fear by the side of the strong." That's it. Yeah, I don't get it. All those bears eat each other. Or is one-sided? Okay. Two frogs lived together in a marsh, but one hot summer the marsh dried up, and they left it to look for another place to live in. For frogs like damp places, if you can get them. By and by they came to a deep well, and one of them looked down into it and said to the other, what voice? Well, look at this nice cool place. Let us jump in and settle here. But the other, who had a wiser head on his shoulders, replied, Not so fast, my friend. Supposing this well dried up like a marsh, how shall we get out again? And the moral is, think twice before you act. The Fox and the Leopard. A fox and a leopard were disputing about their looks, and each claimed to be more handsome of the two. The leopard said, Look at my smart coat. You have nothing to match that. But the fox replied, Your coat may be smart, but my wits are smarter still. That's cool. So